joining us. We are so pleased to have you around from around the world. We've had people that have visited our site, close to 80 different countries that have visited the site now. And we have people all over the world that have the ability, with the blessing of social media, to be able to share these wonderful concepts with other people. As you know, my name is Tom Painter. I'm the founder of the successandmoneyfoundation.org. Our purpose is to provide free Success and Money classes for anyone, anywhere. We are a nonprofit educational charity, or an NGO. And as a result, our goal is to improve people's lives. Now, we have three small missions that go with that. Number one is to provide awards and scholarships to our students. When they win an award or scholarship by attending classes, we ask them to take that money and either put it into their small business, put it in an investment account, or give it away. That's the only three things you can do. You can't spend it. You've got to do one of those three things with it. The second one is to provide scholarships and donations to schools, churches, charities, groups, and teams. And then number three is to help other people. And we're so pleased to tell you that you guys have been doing extremely well. We're over 30,000 hours, almost 31,000 hours. Our students have helped over 350 people with a Make a Difference project, where they've taken money and helped someone that is truly in need. Every hour you're in class, the foundation will donate a pair of eyeglasses to help someone see, as well as feed someone and provide a gallon of clean water, because that is really kind of a big issue. So congratulations. Today we're going to do some fun things. We're going to be talking about cash flow. And the reason we want to talk about that is because it fits right into the things we teach on the 5 steps. Now, remember, the 5 steps are very simple. Step number one is to make more money. You're going to be making money your whole life. The goal is to figure out how to be successful. That's the reason we do all these success classes, is because we want you to be more successful. And the more successful you are, the more money you can make. Number two is to separate it, to sort it, to put it into systems. 3 is to give it away. You've got to give some of that money away to individuals, schools, charities, groups, different people like that. Number 4 is to automatically, here's the key, automatically invest. We need to take money out of your number 1 and get it down to number 4. That is the key to everything we do. And then number 5, of course, is to save and spend. Now, for many of you, you have a great job, but we have to figure out how to make more money. And the only way that you make more money in your job is by adding value or solving bigger problems. Now, the other piece that is really important here is the side hustle. You've got to create extra streams of income. My good friend Robert Allen wrote the book called Multiple Streams of Income. We have classes on that he is allowing us to give away to people around the world. But you have to create multiple streams of income. You have to find a way to be able to create more income. You got to have more income coming into your world. And so we're going to be talking about that with side hustles that you can do to be able to make some more money. Now, as you do all of that, it's all going to go down into what we call the wealth formula. The wealth formula is very simple. You need to put money away on a monthly basis. One of the reasons that we send out money on a weekly basis is we want you to get in the habit. As we send money, we want you to get it into those investment accounts. We want you to give it away. We want you to put it into that small business and get that up and going. Then we do that over time. This isn't an overnight success. We want to build a solid foundation that is strong. We are looking for generational wealth, not just a flash in the pan. We want to do that over time. And then we want to have those investments go up in value. As they go up in value, that equals wealth. Now, one of the things that we want to do today is we're going to be doing the cash flow game. And the cash flow game is a lot of fun. It is one that was created by Robert Kiyosaki. And I had the privilege of being on stage with Robert Kiyosaki and Robert Allen. I just had a small cameo, about 8, 9, 10 minutes that I spoke. But there was 8,500 people in Japan. It was the biggest group I've ever spoken to. And I had plenty of time. I had spent quite a bit of time with both Roberts. And one of the reasons I like the cash flow game is that it's going to teach you a real scenario of what we need to do with your money and get it moved around and how money works. Money flows. Money comes in, money goes out. It goes all different kinds of places. And remember that money is just a game. So we're going to jump over with Ethan. We're going to show you how to open up and start playing the cash flow game, because we're going to give you an award when you complete it, when you go through it and you actually complete it. So Ethan, I'm going to turn it over to you. let's go to you and let's have some fun with this. Okay, Ethan, you're muted.
Oh, thank you. So here we are on richdad.com, about to play the Robert Kiyosaki CashFlow game. I'm going to put the link to this in the chat for everybody.
But you can basically just go to,
richdad.com.
go to richdad.com to get there, right?
Yep. So it's really easy. Once you're here, if you don't have an account, there will be a sign up button right there. You just get an email and your name. And then once you've verified your account, you can log in. Here you can see I'm logged in because it's saying welcome back, Ethan. And then right up here in the top left, you join a free game of CashFlow Classic.
Now, I want to say one thing right here. Robert Kiyosaki is an expert communicator. And one of the things that he does is he gives this away in order to teach people. That is what he wants to do. And in addition to that, he wants to get you into his world, and he has other products that you can buy. We're a foundation, so we don't really endorse or sell things. He does. So just be aware that he's going to offer different things to you, but it's a wonderful game to learn. Okay, Ethan, go ahead.
All right. So like Tom was saying, some ads might pop up. You can click past them. This game is free, so anybody can play. So here, if you were going to be playing with others, you could select a room to join. For today, we're just going to be playing by ourselves. We'll do, name of our room will be Success and Money Foundation. No password, and just one player.
So again, the fun part about this is that after you play it a few times and get good at it, you can play with friends all around the world at the same time. But the real key is for you to get in here and play it a few times so that you understand how it all works. And then you can take on your friends. Okay, so what's the first step after you go in there, Ethan?
So your first step is to usually choose your dream, and your job is assigned to you automatically. So you're kind of stuck with what you got to start out. But you get to choose your dream. And this is just one of the ways that you can win in the end. I think I want to do the heli ski in the Swiss Alps. That'll be my dream.
And the way that you end the game is that you obtain your dream. And again, you can pick all kinds of things, but the goal is to get out of the rat race, to get out of that inner circle there, and then start acquiring assets on the outside. And we're going to talk about how this is in real life, but it's a fun game. Okay, so let's go. So we've picked our dream. We're going to do some heli skiing in the Swiss Alps. And as soon as you make enough money to go do that, then the game's over for you. And then you start over and do it again.
Yep, exactly. And we're pretty far from our dream right now. We've got $750 total in savings to work with. And we have a $2,500 salary. So every time we hit a paycheck, we'll get $2,500. So let's get started. So to start out, like Tom was saying, you start in the rat race. That's this circle here. As you roll, you just move around, and we'll show you that.
Now let's take a second and talk about what this page looks like. You'll notice that you have income and expenses. Hey, it looks kind of familiar with our 5 steps, doesn't it? Step number 1 is to make more money. That's your income. Step number 5 is your expenses. That's where you're saving and you're spending. Assets are really step number 4. Assets are number 4, which are all your small businesses, as well as the different things that you have in your investment accounts. That's your assets. And it can be other assets too, but basically that's what it is. And liabilities are the loans you have. Okay, so you have assets, but you also might have loans against them. And the difference between a loan and a liability, or excuse me, an asset and a liability, is what we call equity. And that's, for many people, that's basically your profit, or what you have in there. Okay, so let's go with Ethan. And so it starts as I think we're a truck driver or something, aren't we?
Yep.
Truck driver salary at $2,500. And you'll notice that you go around the wheel, and this isn't by month. This is just by turns. Okay.
All right. So now we've got to choose a small deal. We don't have much money to work with yet. So we're going to keep getting these opportunities. And this one looks like we've got a stock we can buy. It's a recent merger, strengthened market share of the leading company with good outlook. The cost is $20 right now for a share. and the trading range is $10 to $40. So I'll defer this one to Tom. Tom, would you buy this stock here?
Well, first of all, we only have $750 in cash because we haven't made any real money yet. And again, the name of the game is cash flow. And so we've got to build up our cash a little bit before we start buying too many things. So you'll notice that we have a $2,500 salary, but we've got some expenses. We've got taxes. As you look over on the left side of there, you got taxes. You actually have a home and with a mortgage on it where you're paying $400 a month. You've got a car payment. You've got a credit card payment. You've got some retail payments and you've got some other expenses. So you've got $2,500 coming in, but for every time you get $2,500, you've also got all these expenses that equal $1,620. So your payday there is $800. So we got to spin through one there once or twice and see if we can get our cash up before we start doing too much of that.
Rule number one, make more money, right?
Rule number
a little bit more
make
money.
more money.
All right, so this is a card where if we owned a house, somebody would be offering us $100,000 to buy it. So we don't have anything yet. Oh boy, we had a new baby. Expenses will be increased by $140.
My dad says never buy anything that eats and think twice about children. But my mom and dad didn't think twice because they ended up having 10 children. So watch out for the things. It's expensive.
All right, we're running into some money troubles here, but we're building up a little bit. Our daughter had a wedding, so we got to pay 2,000 bucks.
So we were up to $3,000 and then we got popped by a wedding. So that takes our cash flow down to about $1,000.
All right, so this is one of the good things you can do here. If you donate 10% of your total income to charity, it'll let you roll an extra dice. So in real life, there's a lot of benefits to this. In the game, the benefit is that you'll get to reach more paydays as you play by rolling an extra dice. So
and what's step number 3 is to give to church and charity. Now the benefit on this game is that it gives you more dice that you can go around and get more paydays. So it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but in real life, you'll make more money because it's a spiritual law and a great marketing law. And you can see we did that and it popped us up to $2,100 in cash.
all right, so this looks like a pretty good deal to me. It's a house for sale, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, not lived in for 6 months. We've got a $0 down payment and it'll bring our cash flow to $100, up $100. The whole house costs $50,000, so we'll be paying $0 for that down payment.
Now in this particular one, the one thing that we don't know is what's its true value. You know, is this house really worth $75,000 or $80,000, or is it worth $30,000 or $40,000? So that's not part of this game. But the nice part about it is that, you know, it's a foreclosed home, and hopefully we're getting it for a much better deal. That's nothing down deal, and it's got cash flow. So in this particular, we're going to buy it because the name of the game is cash flow.
All right, so we can look at our financial statement. See, that's the first item in our assets column over here. Is now we've got this house. It's one of our liabilities too, but it's increased our cash flow right here. We've got $100 of passive income, and now we have our first asset.
So let's look at that right now, Ethan. So as an asset, you just bought a property that was $50,000 is the value of that. And so that's over in the asset column, but you have a $50,000 loan. So you have no equity in it yet. Hopefully it'll go up in value, or we bought it under market and we can sell it at a higher value later.
Ethan, there's a question in the chat for you.
Got a question.
Kyson, why don't you just ask us those questions as appropriate, okay? So what's the question, Kyson?
Says, what if my money is not enough? Would it be ideal to borrow money?
We're going to talk about that because that puts that right into what we do. And the only time that you're going to borrow money is if you can get a rate of return. Can you get a return of your money? Or are you going to get it back? Warren Buffett says rule number 1 is don't lose money. Number 2 is read rule number 1, don't lose money. So that's key. And number 2 is, are you going to get a return on that? If you put in 100 or 1,000 pesos or whatever it is, are you going to get that back plus interest or profit? So it's okay to borrow as long as you can make a profit with it. what a lot of people do is they borrow it for stupid things like TVs and luxuries, and they get into debt for things that they want versus assets that make them money. Okay.
All right, this is another stock that we could buy. It's an electronics company. It looks like they've got a record share price. Right now it's costing $40. The normal trading range is 5 to 30. So this is a pass for me. It's over its trading range. And we'll look for a better deal there.
We're looking to buy companies like Warren Buffett does. He wants to buy good companies at a fair price. He wants companies that do well, that are going to have a market share that he can own 10 years down the road. He doesn't care if they make money today. He wants them to make money today, but he's not really concerned because he's not usually selling in a quick time. Okay. So that's why we play the game as we do. All right, here's another one.
All right, looks like we've got a mutual fund. Weak earnings by most companies lead to weak price of mutual fund. Right now it's at $10. The trading range is usually $10 to $30.
So in this one, let's buy a little bit so we can show you how to do that. And it's going to cost us $10 per share. And let's buy 100 shares.
That'll be $1,000. I think that's a pretty good deal.
And it's a mutual fund, which means that it is multiple companies there. Now you notice because we gave to charity, we're getting more and more paydays, It's not really in the month because we're getting 2 or 3 of those.
All right, so this one's a little bit interesting. You've got a friend who needs some cash, so they're willing to sell you some gold for 10 pieces of gold for $300 each. That's going to cost us $3,000. I think if we had a lot of money, this deal might be worth it. But right now, that would be all of our cash, and we need to maybe look for some better deals for us right now.
Unless I knew that I could sell it quickly and recoup my cash back. Okay, let's pass.
Just a small deal. Start a company. You know, this isn't going to bring us in any cash flow, and right now we can't afford it. This is a spot where, like Carlisle's question, we would have to take out a loan to be able to afford this. That loan would give us negative cash flow, and we have no guarantee that we're going to make that back.
Now you could buy it and borrow money to do that. And again, we don't know enough information about this small business. But again, that's your side hustle, that we have to get into. But right now we're going to pass just because we don't know enough info on it. We might pick it up in the future though.
Yep. If I had some extra money, I'd pick that up.
Now, again, don't let not having enough money pass up a good deal. If you can buy it and get a rate of return on it, especially if you can flip it in real life. You find a good product, find it, flip it, and then farm it. And so that's kind of the key of what we're looking at. Can you flip it and make a profit on it? I don't care if it's a product or real estate or eBay or something else. Okay.
Tom, teach me about this certificate of deposit here. The cost is $5,000. It says it's redeemable after any holding period, and it'll bring in a $20 cash flow.
Okay, the first problem is you don't have $5,000 in cash to be able to use it. So you got to go borrow money to make money. Now, if you're going to borrow money, what's the rate you're going to borrow it at? And then what's the rate you're going to make on it? So at this point, I think I'd pass because we're just getting started and I don't know enough information yet.
All right, let's keep
So the
going.
ability to say no is Warren Buffett's greatest asset. He and Steve Jobs, they have the ability to say no and focus on the things that are going to make them more money.
All right, so here's good news. Our mutual fund that we bought 100 shares of, we bought it at $10 a share here, and now it's up to 30. So I think we're going to want to sell that and get some quick cash.
Again, we're trying to build up our cash. Remember, the name of the game is CashFlow.
All right, now we're building up some money. All right, this is a really good deal. So this is a drug company. Market panic causes the crash in the shares of a longtime maker of medicines. So right now the cost is only $1 a share, and regularly it's between 5 and 40. So that is a buy for me.
It's a buy, but again, if it's $1, I mean, has it got good fundamentals? Is it going to go up in value? And again, as we talk about your investments, you're going to put some in the S&P 500, the 500 biggest companies. And this is a smaller portion of your asset base that you get to go pick and choose which companies you want to put it into. So, but for this example, we're going to go ahead and buy it. And Ethan's getting a little aggressive there, but I think it's okay. Let's go for it. Let's see if we might be able to hit a home run on it.
Oh boy, split our stocks. Reverse
Okay,
split
hold on a
1 to
second.
2. If I understand this right, I had 2,500 shares and now I'm gonna have 1,250 shares
Yeah,
after they did the reverse split.
a reverse split is very, very unlikely. But again, we're just playing this as just a game. And so I say, okay, all right.
All right, let's see. Yep, now we got 1,250 here. There we go. So it went up from $1 to $10. We can sell and make $12,500 to get rolling, or we could just sell a part.
I'd say we just sell it and take that cap. Let's make it easy.
Let's go make some bigger deals. All right, so that was a good deal for us.
And again, if you have a question, put it into the chat and then Kyson will bring it into the game.
Here we
And
go.
what's fun about this is as you go through and you complete this game, we're going to send you a small award that you can put into your real business for real life or your investment account, or you can give it away. All right, you can see we've gone through the payday more. The step number 1 is to make more money. And you can see that our cash is now up to $20,000 and we can be a little more aggressive on a few things. And this one says that there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. The reason we like 3-bedroom, 2-bath is because families move in there and they don't ever move out. Versus a 1-bedroom that's people are in and out a lot, or a 2-bedroom, a small in and out. But if it's a 3-bedroom, especially if it has a storage area or a garage, hopefully families will go in there and stay forever and continue to pay. The way you make a lot of money in real estate is the cash flow and reducing your expenses. So the longer somebody stays in your unit, the better it is. Okay. So on this one, I think we're going to buy it. Now in real life, it would sure be nice to know what the value was. Is it worth $70,000 or $80,000, or is it worth $30,000? Until you understand value, everything is worthless. So you've got to understand value. The way you understand value is by looking at a lot of them and keeping a log of them. Every time you go in to look at a property, I don't care what it is. You could be going to a discount store and buying product and reselling it on eBay. You've got to know what the value is and what the market will pay for it. And you can see we're making extra money because we got those extra rolls because we gave to charity, and our payday has gone up and our cash flow has gone up too.
All right, looks like we've got another stock here. The current cost is $20 and the trading range is 10 to 30.
And if you want to take a small flyer on this one, you can. But again, as your asset allocation, this is of the 4 things. This is your pick and choose. So it's a smaller amount of your assets. I would say this is a max 10% of your net worth. And so I'd say I wouldn't spend more than, $1,600 on it.
Let's see, can we do, maybe we just get like 40 shares? Sure, that's fine. Here's that same stock that we sold out on. It's up to $30 now, so we could have held longer, but we don't need to worry about.
You'll never go broke by making a profit. So you made a decision with the information that you had. You can't go back and be mad about it or upset about it. You can learn from it. But that's kind of the deal. Don't, it's water under the bridge. Good, learn from it. And now next, what's the next one we can look at? And again, this real happens, tenants, I've owned a lot of real estate, and sometimes tenants just break stuff. They're renting for a reason because they're usually slobs. So you got to be very careful on who you put into your rental units.
One thing we can do here might not be worth it yet. You're always able to repay some of these loans you've got. I like to do it when I build up a little bit more money and use this money to make bigger deals. You're offered $45,000 per unit for all units in apartment houses of any size. Looks like we don't have any apartments, so keep going. We love donating to charity. Let's do it.
Because it gives us more paydays.
Because we're good people, right, Tom?
We're good people, and it makes it, and in the long run, it makes us,
Both.
and in the long run, it's a spiritual law and it's a business law. Those people that are the biggest givers that help the most people make the most money because people are attracted to them, and their goal is to make a good deal, fair deal for everyone, and people trust them, and they just have more market share.
I love it. When I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad for the first time, that was one of the things that surprised me the most, was how much Robert Kiyosaki talked about giving away your money, and how his rich dad taught him to donate and give away and be charitable with your money as well.
And Mark Victor Hansen, Robert Allen was teaching me that when I was still in college, about giving. So that's a big piece. Now let's take a quick look at your income statement. Now the goal of this, to get out of that circle, is to get your total expenses down and your income up. Basically, do we have enough income coming in that we don't really have to have that job? And as a result, that will make a huge difference in what we're doing. And so our goal is to get our expenses down and our income up. So sometime we're going to take some extra money and start paying some stuff down.
You want to start doing that now, Tom? We can make a little bit of money on this stock we bought.
Okay, pay off loans. So we can pay off some loans right here. We got $21,000. And I think that we pay off the credit cards because the credit cards are going to be the higher interest. Now we have Dave Ramsey talks about that snowball. That's the term he uses for this. This concept's been around for a long time. Basically, what we want to do is to take the smallest payment you got, pay it off, and rip it up, be done with it. And then take that extra money and put it into the next smallest and the next smallest and the next smallest. So if you've got 10 of these things, our goal is to pay off the small ones as fast as you can, get rid of them, just get them out of your world. And then when it gets to the next ones, you look at the higher interest rates versus lower interest rates. But human nature is that if we can get that extra money attacking the next one, our goal is to get that from 8 or 9 or 10 of these different debts down to 3 or 4, get rid of the small ones, and then take that extra money and apply it to get your balance changed. Okay.
See, this stock is currently worth $30. Trading range is 5 to 30. I think I'm gonna pass here.
Yep.
That's a high cost. All right, we've got a condo for sale. It's bank foreclosure here. The down payment's 5,000 and the cash flow is 220.
I'd say that's a buy. And again, in real life, it'd be nice to know what it was really worth. But again, this is just kind of a fun game. So let's buy it.
Buy, there we go.
And also, Robert Kiyosaki loves real estate. So you know that his propensity is to help people, with getting into real estate and teach them about real estate.
This stock split, we don't own any of those, so we're okay. You can see our passive income is increasing. We're at 480 right now, and our expenses is 1,700. We're getting closer. Start a company part-time. It's a $3,000 down payment to start this company.
Again, that's an extra stream of income that we're looking at. But remember, you only have so much time and so much energy. So your goal is to take your time and energy into step number 1 and your side hustle, and then get your investments to have the biggest companies in the world, the S&P 500, the Berkshire Hathaways, invest that money for you. At least, and again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I do, and you're welcome to learn from some of the things with my successes and my mistakes.
All right. So I think I'm just gonna buy this one for fun, just so we can see what happens as we go along, so we can learn from it.
And again, make more money. That's your side hustle.
The drug company is at $40 per share. Trading range 5 to 40. We're gonna pass.
Because we're trying to find really good companies and when Buffett says a fair price, he's talking about a great price.
Yeah, so this is one I think would be a great price. Trade war panic leads to record low share price of this home electronics dealer. It's only at $1 right now, and the trading range is 5 to 30. So what's that? What's the phrase? Never waste a good
Crisis.
crisis.
Yep.
There's a panic going on, and I don't think we want to miss that. Maybe 1,500 shares.
Yeah. And again, the more you play the game, the more you're comfortable with it. Remember, it's just a game. If you do well, you earn benefits, you earn bonuses. Don't equate this with real money. Equate it with numbers. And then as you do well, you get bonuses. That's how it works.
So here's one of our bonuses that we're going to get right now. That stock we just bought for $1 is now worth $30 per share. So we'll sell our 1,500 shares and make $45,000.
Yep, that's goodbye.
See you later. Maybe I'll repay some loans really quick. We can pay off these small ones.
Now, again, the name of this is called cash flow. And so you've got to make more money, and then you've got to have less expenses. You got to get your cash flow up. Now we got $60,000 in there. Can we pay that car loan? You just have to go click on it, right? And we could pay that down as well.
Yep, we can.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make one big deal here. Let's see. This looks pretty good. So we've got a fourplex. It's next to a new highway. The older occupant is moving to a quieter area. Cash flow, it'll bring in an extra $500, and the down payment is $15,000.
Yep. And I would say by now, one of the great things about the foundation is that as a legacy, Robert Allen, for example, who I've known for over half my life, donated some wonderful products for us to be able to use, which is the Road to Wealth. And the Road to Wealth is a true story about how he and myself and one of my college professors went to St. Louis, Missouri in the United States, and we went to 6 unemployment lines. And we handed out flyers and telling people about a challenge where we could take somebody from off the unemployment line that had to have bad credit, no money, and out of work. And we're going to teach them how to go find a property, fix it, and flip it in 90 days. And it's a true story of how we did that. And so that is a great program to go through. It is the Road to Wealth. And I highly suggest you go through that class. Now, when you get to the amount of the numbers, don't worry about the numbers. You can add zeros, you can add zeros or subtract zeros. It's not the dollar amount, it's the percentages, and it's the strategy. Okay, so I highly recommend that you go through that class. I helped write that book, and I helped do it. So it's a true story of how we did all of that.
All right, we ready to keep rolling here? Let's see. Maybe let's look for another big deal.
I like that. Now, again, this is a fourplex. Nice thing is that it's a retiring investor. He may not know what the real value of that property is. And most likely, if he's had it for quite a while, his rents are lower than what the market is. And so I would actually buy this, even though we don't have a lot of capital. I would buy it. I would buy it just because I think it could be a really good investment. And again, in real life, we don't know what the value is, but it's $30,000 a door is what we're calling that. There's 8 units times, and it's 240, so it's 30,000 a door. So let's go ahead and buy it. Oh,
good. We made it out of the rat race.
Now, how'd it come? Because we had enough cash to get that positive income. And the goal of getting out of the rat race is having enough revenue coming in automatically to pay for your expenses. So basically it's right here. Here's our side hustle. We're making enough money off of our side hustles and other things that we've done in order to be able to make enough money to live, is really what he's saying on getting out of the rat race. But you'll notice that we started investing at an early time, and all we're gonna do is just add zeros as we go. Okay.
And one
Let's
of the
continue.
interesting things for me is when we made it out of the rat race. Right now, we only have $4,000 saved. So we don't really have that much more money saved than we did at the beginning. But we've built up all these assets and all this passive income so that we own things that are going to increase in value.
So let's take a look at that. Let's look at your financial statement at this point, and specifically, your income is step number one. Where are you making your income? And you'll notice that he's starting to get more and more income off of his investments, which is really coming out of here. There's more and more income coming out of there, and your side hustle basically has the same 5 steps to it. You got to make more money, and you got to reduce your expenses. So that's really the key. You got money coming into your rentals, and then you got money going out. But the thing I want to concentrate on here for a second is your assets. As you scroll down, you can see that we have assets that are worth something, but they are income producing assets. This is my ring that my wife gave me when we got married. After it was actually our 5th year anniversary, and it is an asset. But am I ever going to sell that ring? No. So it's not an income producing asset. So we're looking to be able to buy income producing assets in a small business or in real estate or other things, but we want it to produce income for us as much as possible. Okay, or we've got to figure out that we can buy it for a lot less than it's worth and turn around and flip it and take that cash and then go buy it and put it into other assets. So you'll notice we have assets over here. Does that give us what our total assets are on the bottom, Ethan? It doesn't.
Nope, I don't think it adds it up for us.
Okay, but you can see that we have assets and then we have our liabilities. Now the bottom 2 lines is what I'm interested in. It shows your plexes, your 4 plexes. The asset is worth 90,000 and the cost on it 75. So it's proposing that it's actually already gone up in value. And then the other one we just bought, the asset is 240 and we only owe 200 on it. So there's a $40,000 profit in there as well. Okay, let's continue.
So we're out of the rat race. You get out of the rat race in this game, it gives you a bunch of money to work with. So now we have $1,000 and we can make some bigger deals here. Looks like we can't afford this.
Hold on just a second. Let's read what it's saying though. Just so we get what it's saying. It says there's a franchise. It's bringing in $9,500 a month cash flow. It's a 38% cash on cash return. Now, if I did want to buy that, I don't have enough cash, but I could borrow it. Right now it's saying pass because you don't have that ability to borrow it. But it would sure have been nice if that was a much smaller number. We could have got a smaller piece of it. And then as we learn how it works, then we can always increase it. You don't need to go throw the dice and gamble big on the first one. That's why as you're putting money into your investment accounts, it's small. And then we just keep adding zeros and we keep adding frequency. Let's go to the next.
So this is where we have the possibility of landing on our dream. So we win if we land on the dream and we can afford it. I think we did heli skiing. All right, so this one costs $150,000. Brings in $5,000 a month.
But it has a
40%.
A 40% cash on cash. So for every dollar that you're putting in there, you're getting a 40% return. So basically it's saying the cost is 150, but is the cost on it. So that's going to be interesting. That's a great rate of return if it's true. So let's buy that.
It looks like we're going to make money again right here. Private fishing lake in Montana. Okay. Audit. Okay, we lost half our cash there.
Wow, that's unlikely.
The IRS got us. That's not our dream. Looks like we barely missed this is our dream. We're gonna have to get out of not the rat race. We're gonna have to win the game another way. 48% cash on cash return. That's pretty good deal, but we don't have the cash right now. Save the ocean mammals. Pass. Golfing, that's not our dream either. Kids library, oh boy, we're passing all these dreams. All right, here's
about
one we
that?
can buy.
Here's something I'm interested in. Okay, so this is a mini storage property. It's got a $6,000 a month cash flow, which is a 30% cash on cash return. All right, let's go for it.
All right, let's do it.
Now you notice we're taking an awful lot of money of our total to do that.
I think this one is pretty much a gamble. We can pay
No, this is a high,
50,000.
that's a big high flyer. That's a 10 to 1. That's a 10 to 1 return if it does work.
If you roll less than a 5, you get $0. So it's like a 1/3 chance, 33% chance that you're gonna get a 5 or a 6, I think.
So let's repeat what it says. So you're buying 500,000 shares at 10 cents. So it says you need to have $50 to do it. If you roll a 5 or 6 on one of the dice, so do we have 2 dice that we get to use?
We just have one. So
Okay,
it's just saying you get one roll.
you got one roll, so you get 1 dice. You got to hit a 5 or 6, so you got a 33% chance of getting that. The shares go to $1, so you got a 10 to 1 rate of return. Now this is gambling. This is a small percentage of our overall net worth if you're going to be doing this. Get a big chunk. If you're less than a 5, you get 0. So you're gambling 50 grand and possibly make 500, but you've got a 66% chance you're going to lose. I'm interested. Throw it in the chat. What do you guys think we should do? You got a 10 to 1 chance, or you've got a 60% chance of losing. What would you do? Throw in the chat. Let's see if you can tell me what you think then. Got to pass. Keep coming. Let's see if you can tell us what you would do. Got to pass. Okay,
Pass,
Ethan,
pass.
they're saying pass, so let's go ahead and pass on that.
Yeah, that was a pretty big risk there.
Now, if I didn't have that bad of a downside, then that's something I would have possibly looked at. But again, that's a very small percentage of your net worth. That's your pick and choose part of your net worth.
Here's that burger franchise we couldn't afford before. What are you thinking here, Tom? We've got the cost is $300,000. That's most of our cash, but it's a 38% cash on cash return.
The only problem with the franchise and anything else is that it has a little bit higher probability that you might have issues versus real estate that has a more stable position. And I'm going to pass on this. And again, remember, you need to look at more deals. The more deals you look at, the higher probability you'll have to find that one. And honestly, as we're looking through all of our deals, we're looking for that 2%. We're not looking for the 98% that want everything. We want that diamond in the rough.
I think this might be one of those. You've got cost $200,000 and the cash flow is a 60% cash on cash return. So this is a much better deal than that last one. It's a higher cash flow and for a lower cost for us.
And you can see that our cash is up. We've got $324,000 at the bottom of that. So we actually have more money on this one. And again, this is just a game. So let's go ahead and do it. Did you buy that or not, Ethan? No,
I bought it. Yep.
You bought it. Okay. And again, remember the name of the game is Cash Flow. And so as they're playing this game, his goal is to get your cash flow up. And remember, cash flow is different than a paycheck. Paycheck, you got to go work for it. Cash flow is something that's more passive that just comes in.
If we roll a 2 here, I think we're gonna win. There we go. We've got our dream. It costs $150,000 and we have cash. So we're going to
if
heli
we buy
skiing
it,
in a Swiss
then we've
Alps.
won. Okay.
Yep. Go, congratulations.
All right, let's go ahead and quit and let's go out and then let's chat about this. So let's unshare that, Ethan. So in this cash flow, you'll notice things that happened in there. Everything that we did, the first goal was to get out of the rat race, to get your capital up. Now you can find great deals and you can start doing all of this at the same time. What he's trying to teach you is that most people don't make enough money and they're spending everything they've got. And so what they're talking about in this is figure out, how do we make more money? How do I make more money? How do I make more money? And you'll notice when we gave to charity, that gave us the ability to get more paychecks and more paydays during the month. So make more money and then figure out how to reduce our expenses. What are the expenses that you have on a monthly basis? You know, your car expenses, your credit card expenses. You need to look at any expense, any loan you have. Does it make money for you? Does it help you make money or not? Okay, Ethan, you need to, there you go. Does it make money for you or not? So that's really key of what we're looking at. Does it make money for you or not? Now, you'll also notice that after we got out of that rat race, as we started building up that cash flow, we started doing bigger deals. Now, you can still do little deals in here. And the goal is probably flip those deals. And again, a lot of this is a part of a game. We don't know what the value of those properties were. We didn't know much about the stock or any of those things, but you can see that it's kind of part of that fun game. And the goal is to acquire assets that go up in value and produce positive cash flow. That's the ultimate goal of what we're looking for. Okay, so that's where we're at. Ethan, anything else you want to talk on this?
Nope, I think that's great. Just keep playing if you're having a hard time learning it. It takes a minute to start recognizing the deals. So you just got to play a few times, make some mistakes.
Now, one of the
And
things
it's a good game to learn.
One of the things that is that we're going to start increasing the number of earn while you learn programs so that you can make money by simply going to class and completing things. And so we're going to be launching that a little bit more tomorrow. And our goal is to help you get your business off the ground, get your money off the ground. And our purpose, number one mission, is to be able to give awards and scholarships to students. But when you get that money, you have to put it in your small business. You've got to put it into your investment account, or you can give it away. Those are the three things that you can do. So Ethan, I think we're going to say goodbye to everybody in our Facebook world. Thank you so much for doing that. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk to people about how they can get this award. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about the 5 steps. So thank you from all around the world that are on Facebook with us, and we will see you in another class.